Pretty much.
Now you're live.
We are live.
8 hours a day.
Tim?
We are
Tim?
live. We are live.
right,
We're
ready?
live. Oh, and there's phones ringing.
All right.
We are live from the Center of Peace for the Oracle, and I'm really excited tonight for the people that have shown up here in person, and the people that are here in spirit, and those of you that are here in spirit and in whatever land you're in or place you're in. This is a very special oracle that I got guided to do before. I've been trying to set a stage all day for creating an energy, clearing an energy here to create positive energy for healing. So whatever type of healing that you need on a mental, spiritual, physical, emotional level, it's available to you. And the different people that responded about coming tonight are very loving, positive people. And I'm a firm believer that when we are present and when we're gathered in one place, two or more of you are gathered, that's when miracles happen. So we are going to be doing some things. We're filming some things. We have EVPs, camera and IR camera set up, and to see what we can capture in here. But it's not about just the pursuit of phenomena. I've been in 7 of Dante Hall's movies, and Tim Pointer from Spirit Paranormal. We've done many things together, and our whole focus is never just about phenomena, because people can get lost in the phenomena wasteland. It's an interesting place. There's lots of cool stuff that happens. We don't intimidate ghosts. We don't try to conjure up the negative energy. We're all about the healing and the positive. But historically, I've had this place since 1983. I've been doing thousands and thousands and thousands of sessions in the Center of Peace here. And lately, and I'm sure you've all noticed it out there, there's lots of phenomena going on. If you have ears to hear, eyes to see, there are tons of things moving. And people that have never had experiences are having experiences. Why? We're living in a time when the veil is removed. We're living in a time of the healing of the illusion of separation is here. And in the last few weeks, in this very place in here, we've heard many voices. We've heard, during readings, we'll hear tapping voices. For years, people have taken the recorded sessions home and actually heard their loved ones' voices on their tapes. So I just got a really bright idea that it would be really kind of cool to see what would show up, and maybe nothing will show up. It doesn't matter. So we're going to be doing kind of a multi-dimensional recording tonight, and I'm grateful to all of you that responded to come here tonight, because a beautiful energy is here. So I think I want to start first with just a little prayer, a little clearing prayer on 3/13/2013, present time. We're grateful for all the beautiful people that are here, all the wonderful, exciting things that are happening on the earth at this time. And I would welcome all of you that, in accordance with each person's free will and highest good, that you open to receive the actualization of unconditional love. We no longer live in a time of reading about it. We are in a time of taking action. And so as we're sitting here, again, we feel the presence of Holy Spirit. We feel the presence of the light. The great comforter, Sophia, the great wisdom. The Holy Spirit's been called many things through different religions and cultures. It's the personification of the Trinity that is the great comforter, the soothing energy. So, and again, in accordance with each person's free will and highest good, we invite this beautiful, soothing, healing energy into your vibration, into your body, mind, and spirit. We also ask if there's anything here that needs to be cleared, if there's all the accumulation of healing and sessions that have happened and things that have happened on the earth before this place was built. We ask that this place be restored to its original divine purpose, the land itself, the energy that runs through it. But if there's anything lingering here Any spirits, any souls, anything, any energies that are trapped, we ask them to come forward to be transmuted into positive energy, to move on. Sometimes people don't have to be in spirit. It can be energies that have happened here, things that have happened here that need to be cleared. We invite those energies to come forward to make themselves known. But I want you just to feel your body temples right now relaxing. It's been a very stressful, very powerful last few days of high concentrations of energy, relentless energy on people. And people are very tired. So I want you just to, in this moment, relax, let go, feel the soothing, positive energy of spirit moving into every cell of your body, healing you, rejuvenating you. When you feel this pull of energy on the earth here, I want you to feel all the dark, negative, heavy, worry, fear-based thoughts, feelings, and actions that you've been experiencing. I want you just to feel them being pulled down and out into the earth to be neutralized. I want you to feel the burdens. Some of the last signs of the shadow self have been making their appearance in people's lives right now to speak things into your ear. Maybe you're not being able to sleep, or you're remembering things and you're so tired. And again, nothing is ever going to be the same. We are in a new space. We're in a new time. But we pray that everybody tonight, again, in accordance to every person's free will and highest good, that's hearing or seeing this, or experiencing this, we send unconditional love and truth, and we ask for restoration of the body, mind, and spirit, an open mind, open heart to connect. Namaste. I used to talk a lot about the heaven-hell cycles that we all go through, where you have those moments in time where you feel wonderful and you feel like you're in the flow and you know you're in the flow and things are, you're just zipping along. You get the parking spot, you get the, you just know when you're in that main of energy that's flowing and you're supported by it and there's no fear, there's no doubt. That's been happening a lot. The last few days for almost everybody that I know, we're kind of back, and it's not back, it's kind of the last of that healing of duality where you'll have, I call it the heaven-hell cycle. You'll have these moments of just ecstasy and actualization, realizations, and aha moments and getting your big picture, and then within a second, you're like, whoa, you feel really dark and heavy, and you don't know why the anxiety is moving over you. You don't know why you're being triggered. And what I'm going to tell you, again, it's like peeling away layers of an onion. The more that we're turning into light, the more that we're activated. We're on a course of no return. It's not like other times. So when I keep talking about present time, we truly are in present time. We are not trapped in that illusion of separation or linear anymore. So everything that you're experiencing right now is right in your face. And you're going to start to have ways to expand in your own consciousness that present time place. And lots of people have been having experiences of where you look at a clock and you go and do something and it seems like you've done something for an hour and a half or 2 hours, and you look at the clock and 20 minutes have passed. Are you going to have experiences where it's the opposite, where you think that it's been 5 minutes and 2 hours have gone by? This is because we are no longer in that limitation of linear. The more you force yourself, and there's going to be times coming between now, the spring equinox is on the 20th, so we're coming into that last of the dark days, the last of the ending of the darkness, going into the light. As we're going into that, it's like the dark night of the soul. It's like the last of that frozen winter energy that's in our own frequencies. Let that stuff come up, because I asked her, I said, okay, I've been feeling really good, lots of stuff, but everybody's coming through here, and including myself, having these just great moments and then just anxiety or overwhelming feelings. As we're not, it's not going to stop. We're going to keep healing, healing, healing. So it's layers and layers and layers. So what I've been doing, and I would like to share this with everybody, and we'll do a meditation about this tonight. When you feel that anxiety and you don't have any idea where it's coming from sometimes, what triggered you, what somebody said or didn't say, or breathe into it. The worst thing you can do right now is to escape it. There's no escaping from it, because it will just be, it will come back at another time, it will come back at another place. It's just there to be dealt with. And it's that last of some energy that's coming up as we're going into the spring equinox. So don't judge things as bad or good. Whatever you're feeling, whatever you're experiencing, let it come up. You may start to feel like, I really look old, or I really feel, or I feel, again, there's a last of some judgment of ourselves. You're going to find yourself judging certain things or looking at certain things in a real critical way. That critiquing kind of energy is coming up for everybody right now. Go into that space. You'll go into that space, you'll expand that moment, and it will change. It will dissolve. You're going to find that there's a quickening in spirit, that when you feel anxiety, when you feel fear, and you breathe into it, you pay attention to it, it morphs into something else. It's kind of like they say, follow the money. You need to follow your fear. Follow your anxiety. Follow whatever's being activated. Everything that you need and want is on the other side of that fear. Everything. And it's a false barrier. It's a false prophet. It's a false God. It's a false energy field that's been here for a long time, controlling the earth plane. When we are in fear, we're down into the reptilian brain stem, and we are in that part of the consciousness that becomes very combative. It's fear or flight. You shut down, or you're going to attack, and you can no longer stay in a guarded place. And you're going to find that the things you used to do to protect yourself, whatever that illusion was, whatever we were protecting ourselves from, right, is going to seem more and more not real. But there's not, the only thing we have to fear is fear itself, you know. And if you're going through hell, keep on going. All those phrases from the Second World War, it's really true. Just keep moving. The vision I've been seeing for the last few days, I'm seeing it very clearly as I'm sitting here with all of you. We've been going through shark-infested waters, but the shore is in sight. It's not thousands of miles away. We're not in the middle of the sea, and we're not trapped. But we have to keep moving, because it's really the light at the end of the tunnel. We're so near that shore. And if you keep your eyes focused, if you keep your motives and intention focused, you're going to be, within a matter really of hours, days, weeks, whatever, in your own consciousness, your own learning, you're landing. You're not where you were. You've been set adrift, but there's a course of action. And yes, if you look to the left and you look to the right, you might see lots of sharks and negative things swimming around you. But you have a path. It's just like when they put blinders on horses for a reason when they're going up very steep mountain paths. It's so they won't look to the left or right and see that they're like thousands of feet up and freak out and fall over. This is where we're all at right now. There's times we want to have the peripheral vision opened up, and that's happening as well, but there's times also, like the next few days, keep your eye on the ball. Keep your focus and intention on Why am I here? What's my highest good? How can I serve the light? How can I manifest all of who I am as a being of light? How can I change my life now? What is my purpose? Because if you ask the questions, you're going to get the answers. There's times gone by, and we all know this, where we've prayed and we ask and we want to know, and you don't hear anything. You don't feel anything. You felt like you're left to wander in the desert for 40 years, like the Israelites, lost from yourselves, lost from spirit. You're not lost, you're found. You're not stumbling through a dark place by yourself. We are a group consciousness that has emerged from that Piscean age out of the collective unconscious, out of a 2,000-year dark age, and we are these beautiful individuated souls that are finding our way in our new big bodies. We've always had the big bodies, but because of fear, we've gotten captured by different things, and we've restricted ourselves, and we've gotten used to being restricted, and that's where we've all been through this. We find people we turn our power over to. We find people to control us. We find ways to, for different reasons, to let other people make decisions, or to all of these things. You're going to find more and more and more that you won't want your power to be away from you. You won't want other people to control you in any way. And that's why people have been really angry. People get some testimony out here. People have been angry. People have been very emotional the last year. And especially there's a lot of anger, and you won't even know why you're angry. Your soul, your individuated soul, is coming up out of this unconscious collective place and wanting expression. So the different ways that you've turned power over to other people, and it's tricky how these things work. It's very, from the time we're born, we're kind of taught, you don't know anything, we're going to teach you everything. And that's why children, until they're like 7, 8 years old, pretty open. They know that there's no separation between heaven and earth. They know that there's no limitations. It's not just magical thinking. They know that they've lived before. They see what adults might call imaginary playmates, whatever. People know. People remember. People consciously are remembering where they've been before. You go to school. You go through different religious beliefs, different things, and you start to shut down. You're taught purposely to be disempowered. The reason we have so much in the Western culture with breast cancer, with heart failure, with stomach issues, we're not in our power. This central sun here, this third chakra, is your power center. And if you're not in your body and in this, have this activation of this center, it's not good. It's the center of your universe. If our body is a microcosm of the universe, this is your middle. This is the middle of your universe, and you want to have this empowered. You don't want to keep having judgment. Well, I'm too fat, or I'm too this, or I'm, different things we do. So there's a lot of shame-based things around this part of the body that's trying to be healed now for people. Same thing with the heart. We're told from a very early age, don't really speak your truth. You put on a happy face. You may walk away and think, I wish I would have done this, wish I had said that. Every time you weren't speaking your truth, or you're putting on a false face, or whatever your motive and intention was, if it's not coming from a right place, you fragment. There's fragmentation. And it's what happens when people are going to severe forms of this, with molestation or abuse or different things that people go through. There will literally be fragmentation. So we're in a time where people, all the fragmented pieces of ourselves are no longer scattered. It's like when Isis is looking for the cut up pieces of Osiris, and she's trying to gather them up. All these allegories, all these stories are about parts of ourselves. Stories of the prodigal son. We've all were given free will and powers of co-creation, and we used our free will, we used our co-creative powers, and then we got captured by fear. So as the fear that's here right now, that you're experiencing or that you're reacting to, it's like a paper tiger. You're going to find that more and more and more, if you start to feel fear or start to feel shut down, if you sit with it for a minute, it will dissolve. It will go away. But you have to take that moment. You want to be in that moment. And the other thing is, if you feel panicked for any reason, or if you feel a negative, what you're perceiving to be a negative energy or spirit around you, be with that energy and go, okay, what is this? Who are you? What? Lots of people are having encounters, let's say. A lot of people are seeing, there's a lot of UFO activity. There's a lot of people that have never seen things in the sky are calling me up and going, I'm seeing these things and I think they might be UFOs, and what do you think they are? And again, we're living in a time when the veil is lifted and the illusion that we're separate from anything in the other dimensions is gone. So you're going to start to see things out of the corner of your eye. You're going to start to think a cat or a dog or something walked in front of you and you go, whoa, wait a minute, nothing's there. You're going to have visits from your loved ones. You're going to have visits from the, you might be laying in bed and feel something jump on your bed and it's not your current dog or cat. And it's like, whoa, okay, it's, because again, our idea of where is heaven, where is hell, what are these things, what are these 7 levels of consciousness, it's very skewed through religious views of things. Babies, children, animals know that there really is no separation. Hell is when you are living in fear and you have fallen through fear into this illusion of being separate from things. That's when you're in hell. When you feel lost and no way out, that's the true hell, has to do with that abject feeling of being cast out. That's a hellacious place. And there are many that are experiencing this right now. So you're going to see people around you ascending or descending. And the perception I'm having about that right now as well is that there's some people, and we all know people like this, that are very negative no matter what's happening around them as far as miraculous things or positive things, or they are choosing to go down into deeper, darker places. And that's a very hard thing to see, and I'm sure you can all identify with this. It's just everywhere. You're going to see people, like I said, either really getting it, working through their stuff, moving up, or you're going to see people falling even further down into really negative, dark energy. It's been really interesting here in Indianapolis. You notice all the car crashes? Oh my God, it's like every time you turn the TV on, there's like, and it's not just one person, it's like 6 people being killed, 4 people being killed, 3 people being killed. I mean, there were like these days of just nothing but, people dying in car crashes and, murdered at, Lafayette Square and all these just crazy kind of things going on. These things have always gone on, but I think what's happening right now as well, like I said, the last week or so, there has been a very strong activation of an unsettled energy. So if a person has chosen to, some people are choosing to leave the planet. I don't think there's anything such thing as an accident, so I kind of think when there are accidents speed people's karma up. So sometimes, if you've ever been in a car accident or fallen or any kind of an accident, usually in your life, Spirit was trying to get you to slow down and take a rest and do things. But when there's fatalities, many times when I've worked with people who've lost loved ones in car accidents or in other types of accidents, it was their time. It was their time. There were things that were going on, and that was the end of that kind of frequency, and they will many times come back, especially in things that look really bad. I've had many loved ones come through and say it may have looked horrific of how the accident looked, but they'll show me what they saw right before the impact, and they were already taken up out of their body. They were already going into a beautiful dimensional state. I've had this happen over and over and over again in the readings I've done, for the last 43 years. But just, that's one of the abilities I have, is to kind of see what and feel what people are experiencing and then reflect that. So a lot of what we're seeing right now in the outer world, with all the accidents, with all the, it seems like it's very, very, very negative. It's the last of some energy that's moving very fast, and some of the things we can't judge why, if it's a bad or good thing, or why it's happening. But there's just a lot. You can see a lot of things coming up from your own subconscious mind. That's what I'm saying. It's like, let those ghosts, let those shadow pieces come up. Any of the doubts you have, any of the fear that you have, and don't judge yourself. This is the thing. People are being very hard on themselves right now and thinking, well, I thought I was so evolved, or I thought I worked through this thing, or why is this happening now? It's happening now for a reason. It's happening now for a reason. In the dream state as well, you're going to find many, many changes with the dreams. The texture of the dream, the feeling of a dream. Because you're going to, as we're having more and more happening in the waking state, it will change. You won't have the need to have the worry dreams. You're going to have more of a direct line coming in. As a matter of fact, that's one of the things to do. When you take cat naps or when you're first going to sleep, allow yourself to feel healing energy moving through your body, and restorative energy coming in. More and more while we're sleeping, when we are going to sleep, you're going to be healed. So if you're having dreams or having sensations in dreams where it's almost like I've been feeling the different vehicles, the different layers of my consciousness and my being. I can almost feel the spirit, the soul, the different levels of, in Buddhism they call them the vehicles. I can feel these different layers of my own being tweaked. I'll be in a half awake, half asleep state. It's almost like it used to be like I was watching it. Now it's like I'm more in my body, feeling the different layers of my own aura and energy field, and then feeling, it's like I'm getting a tune-up. It's the best way to describe it. So if you're having any sensations like this, that's what's going on. A lot of people have been experiencing headaches and shooting electrical feelings in their head, and we're remapping. We are that 90% of the brain that they say they don't know what it's about, that is being activated. You're coming to life. You're waking up to your higher consciousness. So allow yourselves to feel that energy. Allow yourself to not freak out and go, I'm sick, maybe I've got a brain tumor. Because that's what we do. We feel these intense sensations and we start to immediately go into something's wrong. In order to heal what is not right, we have to feel what's going on. So that feeling on all levels is what's being activated right now. Does anybody have a question or something you want to ask or share? I feel somebody out there.
No, I was just going to comment on the dreaming, because you had posted on Facebook a while ago, I think it was in the new year, how there was all this interference and talking and disruption going on. And I that's kind of calmed down for me, but I feel like I close my eyes at night and go on Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. And I'm
Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, I love it.
Literal vehicle. I've been in cars, planes, boat, and it's like it's sort of out of control. And I wake up and I feel just kind of exhausted, because I feel like all night I've been moving and I don't know where I'm.
That's hilarious. So you're actually in, like, it's almost like this fantasy land or Alice in Wonderland kind of thing, and you're negotiating.
The main theme is always movement. Towards, and it's like I'm not really in control of it. But it's always kind of a forward.
When in the dreams, in the higher dimensional states, there's less and less form. So our minds will always say that we're in a car, or we're in a this, or we're in a that, so we don't freak out and go, crap, where am I? I'm just flying around in space. And no, I've had some of those too, where it's like just action-packed, but different than like other people and other people. It's more just like we're learning how to negotiate the other dimensional states. So at first it's going to feel out of control. At first it's going to feel like you're on this wild ride. Again, we're getting as we're waking up out of that illusion of separation and limited thinking and limited powers, we are made in the image of Creator. We have amazing powers to be in more than one place at one time, to do miraculous things. And so in the dreaming state, your spirit body is on a wild ride and is going, whoa, look at this, look what I can do. And the feeling of out of control is, everybody feels like they're out of control right now. And when we want to control, it's because of fear. Oh, big boy. My Malamute's at the window going, hey, let me come in there. Big boy. So, no, that's a cool thing, though. And I have had for like the last, 4 or 5 months, every day, people are calling me up, sending me emails saying, I saw you in my dream. And I'm like, no wonder I'm tired. I'm like, and I mean like more than one a day. I mean like sometimes there'd be 3 or 4 people saying, yeah, we did this and we were doing that. And again, it's that we are multi-dimensional beings, so we can be in more than one place at one time. What you want to maybe do with this is are there other people with you when this is going on, or is it mainly you?
It's mainly me.
Yeah, which is interesting, because see, usually on one level, people in the dream, even if they're people we know, they represent parts of ourselves.
They may be along for the ride, but they're not really.
But they're not right.
Role.
And it's because you're not fragmented. You're learning to negotiate your being, and you're not needing to see these other people, these other things, You're just in your spacesuit. You're in your bigger vehicles flying around out there learning how to do things. And what you might want to do is, Carlos Castaneda's talked about this a lot, about try to see your hand in the dream, or try to focus on certain things, and do conscious dreaming. Like before you go to sleep, really program yourself to understand and to be more awake in those dreams, but also then that you don't want to be exhausted. Because that's what I finally had to do. I'm going, okay, really? That's great that I am doing all this stuff in these other levels, and I get it, and I see it, but let me wake up restored, not not feeling like I've been all over the earth plane somewhere doing stuff.
You pull into the station and then you wake up.
Exactly.
Right.
Oh, I've had those. Yeah. Oh, we're back, and here we go.
Yeah.
But it's a powerful time. Those are neat, though. And you're such a creative person. When I see your aura right now, part of what I see, I feel like you are healing a lot of things. You're so creative, and I feel like you've been so blocked because of the toxicity that was in your house and the overwhelming weird feng shui of everything that was going on around you, because that's how we met, was to come and clear all that energy there. Yeah, it's when I look at you right now, I don't see those poisons or toxins. You've really moved on so many levels, real heavy energy that brought you to this part of the country. And it's probably going to be, whatever you were here to learn, a lot of that's over. And so I think your consciousness is showing you, okay, we're ready to go. We're going to other places now. We're done with this. And it's amazing how it can be like that, where you look back, and I don't know about all of you, but I keep thinking of things that I think were like 2 years ago and they were 8 years ago. Or I keep thinking, oh, this happened, 15 years ago and it was 25 years ago. Yeah. It's the same thing of this whole linear thing is just, everything's just now. Does anybody else have a question or anything you want to talk about before we do a little guided meditation? People are being shy tonight.
I keep having this vibration or tone or frequency in a certain part. And if I'm just quiet, I can bring it up and it's loud.
You feeling it in the back of your head?
It's like in a certain area. It's not really in my ears, but it's just like there's...
It's a tone, you say, or a frequency?
Yeah, have you ever been through like a couple the old clock shops where you would hit it's real high?
Yeah.
Kind of like that.
Okay, yes. And then when you tune into it, you're saying you feel like you can make it move up. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm just very conscious of it. I mean, it's almost to like... and I never quiet it. It's like, okay, I guess you're working, or, I need this, but it's interesting because that's like I can be more conscious of it and it's really pretty loud, or I can
Right,
I mean,
control
if I'm walking
the,
around, I'm
right.
not hearing it. But as soon as I quiet myself, it's like,
yeah, it's the sound current. And the sound current, there's a whole meditation that's built around, called sound current meditation. And in the East, the yogis would teach people to sit and plug up their ears, and you hear almost like the ocean, or you'll hear different sounds. And actually, in the true sense, it's what Om is, right? Or what, but there's actually thousands of sounds that make up the whole sound of Om. And so the sound current is a whole meditation that some people practice. And it's, the sound of the universe is really loud right now. So that's what you're hearing. I hear it at night so loud sometimes I can't go to sleep. It's like so loud that I'm like, oh my, it's like in a twangy sometimes, and then everybody's nodding out here for those of you, yeah, they're nodding, and sometimes it's so loud that it's like not unbearable, but it's just freaky. It's like, whoa, what the heck, is anybody else hearing this? It's like really loud. And so I've been trying to do the same thing because it was really bothering me for a few nights. I was like, I thought, well, okay, just breathe into it, feel it. And again, it's two things. It's not that it's different, but as we're removing layers and layers of protection and fear-based reality, we are hearing it. It's always here. It's like the illusion that people leave us, or God leaves us, or we left the garden. As we're healing the fear, you're going to wake up and realize your garden is all around you. Your life, nothing. You went somewhere. You left. God didn't leave you. People didn't leave you. It's all still here. And so I think it's the same thing with the sound current, that it's so loud. And I think there's also a difference between an artificial sound. And again, I totally believe in, and this is not anything to bring up fear-based reality, but we all know these things. The HARP project that was developed, in Alaska. We sold the books here in the 80s before they were selling anywhere. Angels Don't Play This Harp, and it's about what they put up in Alaska during the Reagan administration to supposedly, it's about outer space and different things. And it's things that create weather. They can create, it's just like Atlantis. We're in the karma of Atlantis, the misuse of technology. This technology can heal or kill. It can create droughts. It can create good things. It can create hurricanes. It can create lots of stuff. Haven't you ever wondered about some of the weather and some of the hurricanes that seem to just go straight and then move to certain areas? They don't move that way, or some of the different, why all of a sudden, you'll feel fine and you feel really sick and there's no reason, or you feel very weakened in your aura. They can use, frequencies are very real. Frequencies there's certain types of music that you will feel, it will make you feel a certain way, higher, lower, sad, music are frequencies too. But there are certain, they use it in mind control, they use it in brainwashing, they use it in torture, really. They'll make people be awake forever and hear certain sounds. And so again, it's that misuse that Lemuria was all about the sound. They say when Lemuria manifested, and it was the manifestation of the Divine Mother and of the animals, and that it was all about sound and the Divine Feminine energy. They say near the end of the fall of the Lemurian era, same thing. It could be that there was a misuse of sound current, of you could make people ill instead of well through sound. So I think sometimes at night in a different place, I will feel a different thing that does not feel like the Om, or doesn't feel like the good sound current. It'll feel, and I know you've all experienced this, and this has happened a lot during the last couple of years to people, where you'll just be sitting or walking along or doing something, and all of a sudden you don't know why, but you just feel really weak, or you feel really tired, or you feel just dramatically don't feel good, and then it's gone, it disappears. Where did it go? It's that kind of a thing. It's a lot of experimentation with all those kind of things. Then when Atlantis, and Lemuria was in the Pacific Ocean, and it's kind of what the islands, the Hawaiian Islands and different places that are left are the remnants of that. Then Atlantis overlapped, and it was the manifestation of the Divine Father, and it was the technological. And when there was a misuse of the ruby crystals and the misuse of technology. So there's a lot of those, a lot of people are back right now, and we're in a time, and this is why so many people talk about the end of the world and destruction, and there's only going to be a few people left on the earth, and cyborgs, and all the things we see in science fiction, and all the things, the fear-based stuff that's out there. It's already happened. It's already happened here. It's not going to happen. It's been here. We've gone through it. We've done it. There's enough conscious people here at this point to overcome the dark energy. We're in a time of healing the light. It doesn't take everybody on earth actualizing things. It takes a few people that are living a life that is about unconditional love and truth, that change the future for everybody. And that's what's happening. There's just, even like tonight, there's thousands, millions of people around the globe or in the universe that meet, connect, and talk about these things and join in unison. And that is the purpose of those of like minds meeting. But the whole sound current thing is very, very, it's very loud right now. And what's interesting to me is how it seems like it comes and goes. But especially around 2 or 3 in the morning, I think a lot of people are being awakened. People nodding out here, yeah, being awakened at night and going, whoa, and you can really hear it. It's really, well, everything's still. It's the still of the night. So, there's that energy that's around. Anybody else have anything you want to ask or share, or? Because there's a lot going on in this group energy tonight. There's a lot of energy, and there's a lot of people here from Spirit. I feel like a huge activation of some of the earth energy here tonight as well, and things that may have happened on this earth before this house was built in 1928. For some reason, a lot of people here, a lot of energy here from different dimensional times and spaces. So we invite you to be here, and if you have anything to say, then speak to us. But yeah, there's just an accumulation of energy. I think that's why the dogs were running around. Animals see 4th and 5th dimensionally, so I think before, when the dogs were out there, they were like picking up on some of the activation there. Well, let's do a meditation, guided meditation. Let's focus on tonight on really restoring the healing the fragmentation and lifting the last of that really dark, heavy energy, just moving it. Just be in the moment. Spring is here. It's on the 20th, but we're already in the spring. So I just want you to know that we are in that energy already. Again, in accordance with each person's free will and highest good, we ask the bodies to align mentally, spiritually, physically, emotionally to present time. We feel the presence of many, many beings of light. We feel the presence of people who are very curious, who are listening and learning on other levels. This whole room just filled with this most magnificent, it's almost like beyond description. It's purple, it's gold, it's silvery, it's sparkly, it's beautiful. Whatever this energy that we've all created here together, it's very soothing and beautiful and cleansing and fun. It's a very interesting combination of colors and energy. So I want you to really feel and remember where you were before you came into this level, before you made transition into this physical form. I want you to remember the oneness. I want you to remember how light your energy is, how you can do so many things with your energy field. I want you to feel the power of your light body, of this beautiful, huge energy field that is you. I want you to know that your energy field goes out 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 feet. You're a huge glowing being. I want you to remember that freedom. I want you to remember the rest of the universe and being part of the whole. And I want you to feel the joy of that love, that oneness, that wholeness. I want you to remember, again, in accordance with each person's free will and highest good, I want you to remember why you chose to come back this time to the earth. We ask any clouded thinking, any programmed thinking, anything in physical DNA that's where patterns of negativity or weaknesses of body, mind, and spirit are blocking you from bringing in totally into manifested form who you really are. We ask those things to be transmuted away. I want you to feel safe to know that you are a beautiful being of light. You chose to be back on this earth at this time, and it's safe to remember why. And it's safe to bring all of who you are into this level. Many have been persecuted before. Many have had many levels of persecution and control and restriction, and negative things happen in other lifetimes. Just let it go. You chose to come back at this time. You have a unique purpose in a bigger picture. There's only one body of spirit, one body of the universe, and you are a cell, you are a part of that body. And you made conscious choice to come here. So I want you to imagine, because it may feel like you're imagining it at first, I want you to imagine why you came. I want you to feel, and don't judge what you're feeling, thinking, experiencing. Just put the question out there. And know that in the next few hours, the next few days, the next few weeks, the next few months, your real purpose for being here is going to become clearer and clearer. The obstacles, the karmas, the different things you've had to work through that you as the Lord of your creation created are behind you. And the path is clearing for you to bring all of your abilities, all of your gifts of spirit down into this level. So I want you to know how sacred and beautiful the body temple is. Your body is a temple for the many, many vehicles that make up this big being of light that you are. And I want you to feel the safety of your own sacred space, your own body temple. In ancient times, we learned through initiations and temples and rites of passages and different things. We're in the time of whatever your path is, you're on it, you're doing it, We're in the time of your temple is your body, and it's a sacred space. I want you to feel how good it is to be this beautiful, spiritual, huge being of light in this body temple that is yours. In accordance with each person's free will and highest good, we ask the original divine blueprint, the original DNA that's encoded in every cell of your being, to come into full activation. We ask the weaknesses of the body, mind, and spirit, the sins of the fathers that go through 7 generations of the physical DNA, to come forward, to be healed, to be transmuted. Many of you are vessel holders. Many of you hold the power within your own body, your own being, to transmute things that have happened over and over and over again in the body, mind, and spirit through the generations of your ancestors. And there are many, many ancestors present here tonight that, as above, so below, are ready to heal and be done with certain patterns that have seemed to go through generations, weaknesses of body, mind, and spirit. We feel a gathering here of this energy for it to stop here. You're going to feel a lot of heat. It is very hot in here, and it's not because the heat's on. It's the spiritual heat is moving through your body, mind, and spirit, transmuting energy. We're in an alchemical process. You may feel the palms of your hands tingling and full of heat. It's safe to remember who you are. It's safe to embrace your spiritual DNA. It's safe to let go of the lower DNA frequencies that are keeping you trapped in addictions, keeping you trapped in dis-ease, keeping you trapped in any type of weakness of body, mind, and spirit that is distracting and blocking your joy. I want you to feel anywhere in your being. I want you to let this energy move forward. Anything that's not of the light, anything that's not right in your life right now, I want you to let it go, let it move. There's like a movement of energy here. It's like everybody's letting go of some really low astral energy. It's just like this, there's this dark, smoky energy kind of moving away from the physical field. And we ask that any negative umbilical cords that are still binding us to anything that is toxic, we ask those cords to emerge. We ask the Archangel Michael to sever those cords now. The dogs are barking outside. They're feeling the energy. They don't bark. They're feeling this energy that's moving. Let it go. Let the layers and layers and layers of things that are ready to just be over. The things that are no longer your story, the things that are no longer meaningful, useful, let them fall away. Feel the energy from the earth moving up through your body. There are hundreds of wheels of light on the bottoms of your feet that connect you deep to the earth, like a root system. I want you to feel that energy moving up from the earth through your body. strengthening you. Your body is the tree of life. This is not a abstract thing. You are the tree of life. And the activation of your wisdom and of the different paths of the tree of life are happening. We ask all pictures of death to be turned into pictures of life, all pictures of fear to be transmuted into pictures of unconditional love and truth. We are of the heaven and we are of the earth. It's the great mystery. So as you feel the magnetic pull of the Divine Mother holding you to the earth, I want you to feel the top of your head, the crown chakra, opening up to the electrical energy of the Divine Father. And just as you're rooted deep, deep, deep into the center of the earth, we are from the stars, and each of us has a star that we have, that we're attuned to. And I want you just to feel that electrical, twinkly star energy and just bring down on the top of your head your star. Just feel this energy from the stars coming down through the body to the top of the crown. This is part of the divine mystery. We are of the heavens, we are of the earth, we are of the Divine Mother, of the Divine Father. As above, so below. Feel the union. Feel the magnetic pull of the Mother pulling the electrical energy of the Father down through your body, regenerating you, activating, creating new life, new energy. Tons of energy moving. As the energy is moving up, I want you to feel that taproot energy, that black energy of the first chakra. It's the color of the earth. And I want you to feel, it's in the tailbone, perineum area of the body. I want you to feel, again, it's actually like a taproot. We're walking trees. So I want you to feel this taproot that goes deep into the earth, and you're pulling up nurturing energy, nutrients from the earth up through the body, but you're also pulling poisons out of the body. It has the ability to do both things. So let things go and let this wonderful energy up through your body. I want you to feel the energy moving up through the second chakra, the color red. This is in the sexual reproductive area. And again, this is your creative center. This is not just about reproduction or sexuality. This is about your power and your powers to co-create, your powers to heal, your powers to heal and transmute energy within your own being and for others. So we ask for a clearing and of the judgment of the color red, a clearing of the second chakra, of guilt, shame, fear, molestation, abuse, blocks, turning power over to others. Feel the power of that red energy moving through your veins, moving through your whole energy field. And right below the navel is the Christ flame, Buddhic flame, and it's going to ignite this central sun. It's going to ignite this big third chakra here. So it's just like if you're turning on the knob on a stove, gas stove, and you see the purple, you see the orange, you see the yellow, and let this ignite This is your first 3 chakras of the furnace, and we want them activated to support the upper energy field. So just let this big furnace ignite. It's safe to be in your positive ego. It's safe to express yourself. It's safe to feel the power of now, of you, of your purpose. Feel the energy moving up into the heart, chest area. Feel the emerald green color moving through to heal. Be very aware of your heart. Be very aware of keeping it open. Again, being in a constant state of prayer and meditation is possible because when we pray, we send out. When we meditate, we receive in. Feel this unbroken circuit of energy of sending and receiving, sending and receiving. The heart is pure. The heart wants to be open. The heart does not want to be hardened. The heart does not want to shut down. We ask all abandonment, rejection, all fear, all ways we have blocked ourselves and armored ourselves from receiving, sending and receiving. We ask those layers to be gone. It's safe to send and receive. It's safe to send and receive unconditional love. It's safe to do that for ourselves, for others. I want you to feel the power of unconditional love. I want you to feel the union from within. The true beloved is within. The union you're seeking in the outer world, or you're seeking this union from within. Feel this energy. Very important right now to make peace with the inner male, inner female, to work with the sacred marriage from within. The war is coming to the end. The war of the left brain and the right brain, the logical and the feeling are coming to an end. The extreme of both sides of the brain, the synchronization. Except the I become single, you cannot enter the kingdom. Except you become as a child, you cannot enter the kingdom. Except a male become female, except a female become a male, she cannot enter the kingdom. This is about the union of the yin-yang, the male-female from within. This is the union of the left brain, right brain, going into the higher consciousness. I want you to feel the presence of your own high self, or pilot self. Many of what people perceive to be spirit guides, angelic realms, they exist, but a lot of what you're experiencing, and will be experiencing more and more, it's a literal part of your own being. It's part of the time that we're in, is this conscious integration of the divine self, the high self, the pilot self, this part of our self that sees, that knows, that feels, that has the radar. But it's part of us. We've been so programmed to think we don't have that connection, that it must be something else speaking to us. It must be something else going on. You have a direct link to God, to Spirit. I want you to feel this beautiful being that you are, this high, high, high part of you, and consciously invite it in and to integrate with lower mind. And again, it's safe to remember why you're here. It's safe to see in a conscious way why you're here. It's safe to be who you are. It's safe to complete your life. It's safe to bring the joy, the happiness, the abilities into this level. I want you to feel the most beautiful color of violet purple and moving into the 2 points into the forehead. This is where the third eye, because there's a real activation. We're going to move back down into the throat. The throat, it's safe to speak the truth. It's sapphire, but we kind of shot way up through, up into the, we're going up through speaking the truth, hearing the truth. We're already up into the third eye. It's safe to see in a way that's right for you with the inner eye, that brings wisdom and help for yourself and others. Safe to hear with the inner ear. It's safe to feel empathically. It's safe to be this open energy. You're protected. You're safe. And the blue, royal blue color of purple, it comes from that blue royal energy purple, is the color of the crown chakra. And again, there's many, 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 many other levels of energy centers that extend above and below. Safe to let go of limited thinking. It's safe to let go of old belief systems. It's safe to let go of judgment of what is right or wrong. It's safe to ask for the gift of discernment to guide you. It's safe to have a knowing of what is right and what is wrong for you. It's safe to feel these things in your body, mind, and spirit and be guided toward things and away from things, toward people and away from people. We ask the things that would cloud your judgment, cloud your vision, cloud you from coming into your full empowerment to be healed. And when you're ready to return to this consciousness of this room, you'll return feeling restored, whole, refreshed, focused, integrated. I want you to see yourself as a magnet attracting all of you, all things that seem to be separate and fragmented and lost. We ask that illusion to be healed. And I want you to feel all of you integrating into this moment. And this process of learning and healing and integrating will continue into the night, into the dreams, into the days to come. Wow. How's everybody feeling? Ooh. Ooh. It got so hot when we were first into it. The first wave of the healing was so hot that it was like my hands were sweating. It was just really, really a neat thing. it's really interesting with the dogs because they don't normally do this, and they definitely were out there moving energy around and seeing things and clearing things and chasing things and getting excited by the energy. I think here, wow, it was good. There's a real activation. You all did a really good job of the activation of that central sun, of that third chakra. There's a lot of, it was like, again, like turning on that gas stove. When I look at everybody's aura that's here today, there's just this real powerful, glowy energy, and it's moving up and out. And so it's going to continue to burn off a lot of the dross. You're going to feel a lot of things happening that will keep the generating of this energy to keep you moving, keep you unstuck. You may have noticed too that there were a lot of colors. You're probably seeing, there was a lot. What were you guys seeing? What kind of colors?
It's a bright green.
Mm-hmm.
I almost always see, like, when I close my eyes, if there's lights, I always see just like purple all
Right.
the time. But I noticed even when I was first starting to close my eyes, it was really bright green.
Anybody else see colors?
I saw red, white, and black.
Oh, interesting. Red, white, and black. That's interesting. No, it's interesting because there's a really huge energy field. I mean, it's like the whole spectrum. Well, the red, white, and black are real powerful. It's like the yin and the yang. It's always pictured with the black and the white, and then the red is the energy force. It's that union energy. I think that you were saying, and the green is the color of healing. And that's one of the purposes we talked about for doing this tonight, was for healing. So that's why you were seeing the vivid green, before we ever came in here. What were you guys seeing?
I was seeing gold. Gold.
Yeah, a lot of
Lots of
beautiful.
gold.
Yeah, beautiful golden light. Yeah, just neat. Yeah, I keep feeling this spark. It's very sparkly. A lot of sparkly energy. It's not just like it's real happy. It's like there's a lot of happy, joyful energy here. And I feel like this space is really happy to have all of you in it. Because like I said, there's been so much that's happened. I'm sure since 1928, since this building was built, but since 1983, there's been so much that's happened here. But I felt tonight a huge lifting and clearing and cleansing of some of the last of any dark or lingering old energy that needed to get lifted off of. And I think that's why it's sparkly. I think it's like it's just very happy. Did anybody else have anything you wanted to share, talk about, or that you felt or saw or are curious about? Because I love it when people have questions.
I'm just the camera guy.
Yes.
Towards the end of that, I'm getting text just to kind of see the feedback of what it looks like on the screen. So I was kind of meditating and I looked up, and I thought, and it would be interesting to see your take on something done, but from my perspective, behind you on the wall, you can see the shadow of the Buddha.
Mm-hmm.
And I like when I came out of mine, I took a breath, and I kind of looked at this and was kind of exhaling, and I looked over there, and I think it looked like it was sort of breathing just a little bit. Like,
Oh yeah, this walking Buddha is very alive. Both of these statues. This walking Buddha is my animals. I have a Mary that's the same thing. I have a huge Mary. It's from 1915. And it really, I just had a lot of adoration. This is really old, and there was a really beloved person that I know named Alan Ramsey, and he used to be very famous. Most of my antique jewelry came from like 30-some years ago. He used to be a very amazing person, lived in Cincinnati, but he traveled all over the world. But he was also a spiritual teacher. And he had this in his home, and many important events happened when I was around the statue. And when he passed over, it's something that he left me, and the candlestick over there too. Keith has the other candlestick, but yeah, this walk is very real. And any time I've had this, there's lots of energy that I've taken pictures and seen energy fields. So it's very accurate, Dan. Very good. It's
Are you watching?
Ooh.
I don't think I have the walking Buddha, and I'm kind of And the
Well, I
other
bet
way
you
I
got
have-
something up. I bet you did
Oh, I'm
because
sure I got
there's been stuff going on with it, and animals will come in the room and they will look at it and they'll lay and they'll go up and they'll. I had one dog that came in, was actually afraid. The dog was like, but then it was, and I've looked at it many times. I've had it in many different houses and many different spaces, and it definitely has energy in it that's like amazing. Yeah, it's so that would not surprise me that you saw that because
It's
that
a shadow.
yeah,
It wasn't
yeah.
like the Buddha.
Saw the
It's different
energy
than the Buddha,
of it, yeah.
It's real
Yeah.
subtle, but I don't know. Could
Yeah.
be my-
Oh, I think that's pretty interesting. Yeah. Anybody else have anything you want to talk about or go into tonight? Because there's so much that's happening. I really wanted to, because I'm a firm believer that the student is a teacher and the teacher is a student. So I love it when people share your own insights, or you have another thing you want to bring up, or things that are happening to you.
I felt that there were people around me, like, cheering. Like, you're remembering, like, you go, girl, you know.
All right.
We're here, we're here for you. We're,
Yes,
We're
supportive.
supporting you.
Mhm.
You've got this. We've got your back type.
Oh, that's cool.
Love, joy, safety.
I felt that too. I felt I think that's part of that sparkly thing too, like very supported by the other realm, like in alignment with it, like, and it is like a cheering of, because it's
It
so
was joyful,
important.
like, not from the place of fun, but from the place of reveling in joy.
Yes.
Like a deep joy.
Oh, that's neat. Thanks for sharing that. I love that because I think that for so many lifetimes and so many eons, we've all lived. The joy is there, but we've been captured, and so our joy has been blocked, or there's people who have taken our joy, or we've allowed to take our joy. So I think joy is it's my middle name, and I love that name, and it's like it's a really real thing to feel true joy, because to me joy also has a peaceful, like you said, it's not like this woohoo let's party kind of thing, but it's a real deep level of true happiness that it's a well, I think there's Sunday school songs about that. I've got the joy deep in my heart. And it's true. I mean, it's a very, and that's a neat thing too, is to feel that support. And again, I always want to emphasize this, especially now, the times that we're going through. We are such big beings of light, and you've been so programmed to think that that you don't have direct connection. You have your own direct connection. It's heal thyself. You all have intuitive abilities. All of you have different gifts of spirit. We don't all have the same gifts. We have abilities, and we have things to help us and guide us that are available to us. So it's so important in this time. You don't need somebody to intercede between you and God. You don't need somebody else to tell you what's right or wrong. We're being forced to grow up in spirit. We're being forced to take our spirituality. We can't let Jesus, Buddha, somebody else is going to do this. You have to do it. It's the time of your adult spiritual being to co-create with God and co-create with parts of yourself, and to bring who you are into this level. And so that's what I would emphasize, that's so strong right now, is to ask those questions. Why am I here? What is my highest good? What am I supposed to be doing? Because we've all asked those things and been very disappointed because you don't get the answers, right? You don't hear, you're not feeling, you're not getting anything. I guarantee you will get your messages. You will get information now. And I think when we planted those seeds, when we were doing the meditation, a lot of you were getting information. A lot of you were getting visions. And I think what happens is that it's important how to ask for things right now. I would totally emphasize, we don't ever want to go against somebody else's free will or highest good. I've seen people prayed and prayed over that should have been let go of. We don't have the right to go, I want this person to be alive, or I want this person to get well. We just don't have that right. You always want to say, if it's in accordance with this person or this animal or whoever you're praying for, you want to say, is it only in accordance with their free will and highest good? We don't have a right to interfere. We just don't. And it's the same thing in your life. If you really want true joy, true happiness, you can never go wrong if every day you say, I want only that which is for my highest good. And what happens, we get so caught in finite thinking and thinking, well, if I only had this job, or if this thing would happen, or this thing wouldn't happen, that we block how the truest of joy can come in. And this is the biggest difference I think I'm seeing in people. I have seen some people for 20, 30 years for readings, so they're finally getting it, and they're going, you know what, this time when this relationship didn't work out, or this job didn't work out, I didn't freak out and go, oh my God, I'm devastated. I thought it wasn't the right thing. And that's where you want to really go with your thinking, is that if something isn't happening, it doesn't mean that you're being punished or you're doing it wrong, or you're, this higher part of you knows a bigger plan. And that's the way it's being reflected to me, is that you're going to only want to be comfortable, you'll only be comfortable if you're in your highest plan. So you don't have to chant or burn candles or do things. You want to just be in accordance with your own free will and highest good, and to really work with Spirit about, why am I here, and show me and help me remove the blocks. And again, some of the most amazing saints and masters that have ever lived on this earth you will never hear about, because they live very quiet lives of being in their life. You know, we get these ideas in our head about that we're supposed to go off and go to China, or be in a missionary, or go to Haiti, and those things are wonderful, and I'm not making fun of them. It's wonderful to do service and to do things, but I guarantee you, every second of the day, there is something or someone or an animal or a situation that will cross your path that you can help. You just have to be open to it. And so your path, we get very depressed sometimes. We think, well, what's my path? Well, you're on it. All you have to do is just be open to the path. You know, it's so interesting. We'll be sitting on the path, we'll be on the path, and we get, the illusion is that we're not on it, or we have to find it. It's somewhere out there. It's not out there. It's, you are your path. You are your temple. You are your body. You are your everything. Start to get more comfortable in your own skin. And I think that's part of what's happened, is that we've gotten so pushed out of our true power, so pushed into the illusion of that the mind and the spiritual body are superior to the physical and to the emotional bodies. They're all equal and they're all important. So you're going to, that's why the emotional body has been screaming at people for the last 4 or 5 years. You know, we used to always try to control it, or not, okay, it's the emotional body. We want to judge it, or we want to, and as we know, when you repress it or suppress it, it's going to come out somewhere. And so if you're feeling like you've been on a wild ride in your waking state with your emotions, you are, because your emotional body will no longer be denied. It's going to let you know before you keep stuffing it down and it becomes dis-ease. The last stop is the physical form. Everything first starts with the mental, emotional, spiritual, then becomes physical. Your emotional body does not want to be denied. So when you get these intense feelings, don't be afraid of them. I think what's happening to people, there's a lot of fear. You know, you feel something and you go, whoa, what is this? It's like, it's you. It's just part of you. It's nothing to be afraid of. Your physical body your body temple wants to be healed. So you may be feeling every ache and pain, every weakness in your body. It's not a permanent state. It's your body's going, hey, help me, hey, do something. Well, figure out why you've got a pain in your back or pain in your leg, or don't ignore me. Don't take a bunch of pills. Don't do things to distract. Because I'm telling you, we talk about this every week, the distractions are not going to work. They're not working for people. You can't eat enough. You can't drink enough. You can't work enough. Whatever you used to do to not feel pain on any of the levels will not work. And so that is a bummer for a lot of people. They're like, I'm getting people in here, hardcore people I would ever think would come in for readings, and they're going, well, to tell you the truth, I'm an alcoholic, but I can't drink anymore. When I drink, it makes me sick. I'm like, good. This is a good thing. Doesn't make me feel the same way. There's a reason for that. Lots of people have tons of types of addictions, with food or whatever. It's just not working. Well, the good news is that it's not working because we are all going through this journey of healing. And some of the phases of it have not been what we might call pleasant. But the unpleasant parts aren't permanent. They're just the transitional pieces. They're very much the transitional pieces. Again, and don't be afraid of what you are feeling and seeing. As the dimensions are opening up, well, they've always been here. As the veil is removed and the separation is healing, you're going to see a lot of things and feel a lot of things and realize that nothing is separate from you, that we're all just one big energy field. And it's not because you've dropped acid or done some kind of hallucinogenic. It's like having flashbacks from the 60s. It's going to be like, whoa, yeah. It'll be more like, oh, okay, you don't need those things. Or you're going to just have that awareness, that organic awareness of the oneness. Because it's just what is. Anybody else have anything they want to talk about or ask or share?
I like when you were talking about enough. That's something I keep hearing. We have enough. We have enough. And really, if you look at life as a person, we'll never have enough.
Right.
But when you look at something as
Yes.
a spirit, what's a new car going to do for you?
Exactly.
What's a great paying job do for you? Really, it's really more of a burden than it is
Yes.
a positive.
Yeah, it's a very good point. Yeah, it's a very, very good point. I'm not trying to put you two on the spot, but have you been seeing anything in here?
Lots.
Yeah.
But these guys are wonderful. They came over Sunday, and I've known you for a long, long time, many years, and then I'm so happy to hear about your son. And this wonderful young man is very talented, and he sees and remembers things. He remembers his last life, and he sees things. Do you mind sharing some of that?
About halfway through, during our session, we talked about the Lords of Overrun.
Mm-hmm.
About halfway through, I opened my eyes halfway through, and I saw two of them standing looking at
The
you.
Lords of Orion. Oh yeah, Dark Lords. And we talked about this kind of a little bit, maybe in one of the sessions. Interesting. Yeah, about what did you see? What did you
I
see?
just saw two of them, the taller ones, just standing there looking at you.
I am sure of it. I felt them too.
I got
I felt one of
two.
them.
I felt them too. It was before it got dark. It was brilliant blue outside, and I felt them.
Interesting. And what did it feel like to you?
It's just like I said before, I got this overwhelming gray feeling, and for some reason I thought outside, and I just felt that they were here.
Yes.
You know.
And I think it's because we're calling forward the stuff to be healed.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've shared, I think some of you were at the last Oracle, I think I talked a little bit about this, is that I've had many, many, many experiences with different things, but in the late 70s I was visiting my mother in Connersville, and at that point I lived downtown at 16th and Meridian at the Piccadilly in a big penthouse that had outdoor terraces. And I was visiting my mother, and she lived in this beautiful old house she bought. And I was like, I woke up and I saw at the edge of the bed, this is probably 1977, I saw at the edge of the bed what I would call the Dark Lord of Orion, a huge, looked like Darth Vader. It was just this huge, big, and tall. And how we started talking about this in the session, you'd seen it. He'd seen it. In the waking state, he'd seen the same thing. So Sunday, I was, sharing this with him, and I was sleeping in bed with my mom because when I'd go to visit her, we were very close, and so we'd stay up and talk. And so my first instinct, she was on my left. I wanted to reach my left hand and my left leg over to protect her. But I was intuitively, psychically linked in to this telepathic connection with this big being, and it said, we are in a main of energy, we are in a main of electrical current, and if you touch her, it will kill her. I'm like, oh crap, great. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, and then I'm going to breathe over there. Well, and told me a lot of other things. It was like a transmitting of energy. And I was born in Connersville, and since I was a little child, I had very vivid memories of things coming from the sky and different things. I mean, there's a lot of people in that area that have had. It's a big, high area of reported UFO things forever. So a couple days later, I came home. I'm at 16th Meridian, sleep in the penthouse, and I think I hear a helicopter land on the roof. Well, that's near Methodist Hospital, so I remember thinking, oh, it's probably just that helicopter thing. And I remember that I went into this helicopter and we went to a tropical beach, and I remember it was so hot. And I remember I woke up and there was a triangle burned on my chest. It's like, this is before all the books about communion and the abduction stuff were coming out. But what's very interesting about it is that my work changed a lot after that. I'd been doing work forever, but it changed significantly. And again, it's like any of the alien stuff you hear about, there's good, bad, and different involved with it. My issue has always been, I don't want things without my free will. Why are they messing with me? So what's going on here? Why are you at the foot of my bed, and why are you... And so I've had the struggle. Through the years, and they find people that have abilities. And through the years, I've taken implants out of people. It's been part of the work where I've actually felt not just etheric, but seen things come out, that have been implanted for lifetimes in people. So, and for a long period of time, back in the 80s and 90s, it was a big work that I did. People would come in, and I think that was part of what was going on. But when I shared, that's funny, because when I shared those stories with you on Sunday, because of what you had seen, that was a very specific, when I wanted to do the healing here of this property, because again, back in the 80s too, I actually saw 2 or 3 of the little grays in the hallway. So it was about, okay, let's get back to the original purpose of this place, this land, and if there's anything on any level, even things might think that they're a good thing or whatever, if they're not supposed to be here, then they need to come forward to be killed. So I'm not surprised. And I've had a lot of things that have gone on that I know have been, there's been a blocking energy where they want me to work in whatever they want, and I don't want to be going into another frequency. So that's really interesting. It's interesting you saw 2 of them too. What else? Did you see anything else around it?
No.
And I think it's what dogs were barking. I think that's what was going on with the dogs. That was my sense with the dogs too. Yeah, go ahead.
About 5 minutes in. Well, like 2 years ago, a janitor died at Carmel High School. And the other day I was there, I was walking around with my sister and her friend. And I didn't get something out of my locker, and we were walking around and I saw these open doors that went to like a janitor's storage room. And I don't know why, but I was drawn to it. So I went in, and as soon as I walked through the doors, I felt really, my heart rate went up and I felt really hot. And I saw these balls of light just shooting past me, 4 of them, 1, 2. But the weird thing is, about 5 minutes in, I felt that he was here. The janitor was here, I feel like.
Tonight?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Over in that corner.
Right, and so you may have brought him with you. He was drawn here, because dimensional the way things are is different than what we think, that, and we were sending out to heal, and you were connected, and we saw each other, then you saw, and he came in to be released. That's really cool.
See anything with a Buddha or anything like that?
I thought I saw something black, but I'm pretty sure it's just her shadow.
Yeah, that's interesting. No, there's lots of people here, lots of things here tonight. Because we put that motive and intention of healing. Would you mind sharing about your reincarnational experience, or are you shy about that?
Oh, no, fine.
Oh, wait till you hear this. Go ahead. I love it. This is so good. Oh my God.
Well, when I was really young, actually, you tell me.
As opposed to now that you're really old.
When I was young, I love it. Well, it's all when you're 14, it's all relative.
Are you 14 now?
Yeah.
Okay.
14 is such a great age too. Yeah. Go ahead.
When he was 2, we went to Walt Disney World. It was his first time at Walt Disney World, and there's a ride there in Magic Kingdom where there were race cars, and his father was driving and he was riding in the race cars at Walt Disney World. And when they came to a stop, my husband got out, and then he pops out of it and goes, "Man, I haven't been in one of those in a long time." And we're going, "You've never been in one of those ever." And he was meaning the race car. And then he started talking about how he used to be in race cars, and that his name was Emmett Cruz. And
very unusual name, Emmett
yes,
Cruz. It's
and,
like, yeah.
And he knew
It's
how
not
he
like
died.
John Smith.
He was very calm. He's 2. How can it do? His name was Emmett Cruz. His mother's name was Emma Khan. He knew exactly how he died. He was in World War II. He was in an airplane. He watched his pinky get shot off. He remembers being in the plane and it going down.
It's amazing.
And he was just totally conscious, talked every time I would ask him, for years he could recollect it, and was the calmest voice. But he still remembers it.
Does Lucky Teeter mean anything to you? The name Lucky Teeter?
I can't think of anything.
Oh, that's interesting.
What was your reaction to that? So obviously you're
I
open to that,
yeah.
or did you become open to
No,
that? I mean,
I was raised in a haunted house.
Okay.
We moved. I wasn't born into it, but we moved to a home that was haunted, and I spent the majority of my life not being recognized that this was happening to me, and constantly, "Oh, you're wrong, and you're imagining this." And,
A lot of parents would shut that down.
I wasn't, and to this day, I sleep with my hands above my head like this. I mean, my parents never recognized the fact that I was building a cocoon in my bed,
Right.
and I was pulling the covers up because they would touch me. And
Interesting.
to this day, my husband, I sleep with my hands above my head. That's because I was scared to death they were touching me. And then my sister was born, and she was born in the house. And then years later, she physically saw them. I can only see peripherally, but she could see them. And when she did, she didn't know this person's name, but this was years later after I moved out of the house, and she told my mother what this person looked like. And this was after years of things happening, years of constantly all kinds of things happening in the house, and being told we're just crazy. And she told my mother what this person looked like. Well, it just so happens our family has over 200 years on this property. And my grandparents lived next door, and my mother knew him. As soon as my sister said the characteristics of this person, she goes, "Oh," and it was the person that built the house.
It's like, whoa, here they're going.
Have you been able to learn anything about Emmett Cruz?
I haven't.
We're looking.
I've gone online, and what I know so far is that Emma Khan is from North Carolina. But there's so many different ways to spell Khan. There's so many different ways to spell Cruz. And Emmett is ITT or ETT or.
It's going to manifest because ever
It's
since we
going to.
talked about it Sunday, I've been actually seeing some other. I think my gut feeling. I keep feeling like I see the wing of the plane, and I'm starting to see numbers. I think some details are going to come bleeding through now about that because it's so fascinating. Yeah, it's such a cool thing.
I instantly knew. I mean, when you're raised around it, you feel it normally,
Right.
you know, so to me, it's not like a learned experience.
Right.
It's like I was raised in a bilingual house. I
Right.
felt it every day.
Exactly.
And so we have things popping in and out of our house all the time.
Yeah, they have really cool stories.
We have all kinds
They
of
live
stuff
right up
popping
the
in and out.
street
Okay.
here, like a
They pop out
103rd,
all the
like
time.
they right up, and we had the neatest experience because I started talking about them about the sacred geometry of Indianapolis and healing the city. All of a sudden, we all had this felt this energy just ignite on this property, and I felt it arc up to where they live, and and I think that's what's happening is we're all finding each other. Because I've known you for I don't know how many years.
20 years.
20. She's been coming here for 20 years. But I never met her son. So
You live in the same house that you had the experience in?
Yeah.
So, okay.
Oh, you mean?
not the childhood home.
Well, my parents still live in
But your
that house,
parents-
my childhood house. They still live
And they
there.
never sensed any.
Things happened to my mom and to, of course, my sister and I. My dad never mentioned anything. My brother didn't. But it was just, oh, you don't talk about it.
Where's,
Yeah.
where's your
You
house
know-
at? Where's that?
Well,
That's a very
Oh, really?
intense area. yes.
I used
Wow.
to sleep in a cocoon too. Now I've never heard of someone describe it, but now,
Wow.
I mean, my mom used to take pictures because I would build up my stuffed animals all around me, and then I'd pull up my baby blanket. And I used to have this woman who would come in because my mom and dad were really heavy sleepers, and so I'd always like call. And then there was like a woman in white who would sometimes come in, and then they always wrote it off as I was dreaming. And we lived in kind of an old house.
that's
And I
neat.
I've just never ever thought any more of it until you described
The
that cocoon,
cocooning.
because I was always I was always scared, and I
was afraid
I
you were
mean,
going to come
that's
up under
just
the
so-
covers. Every single cover was totally tucked in. I never
Yeah.
moved. My parents were like, "You don't ever move when you sleep." No, I don't. I do.
There's a reason.
I don't, do I? I never
No, you
move.
don't.
I don't move when I sleep.
How
And I
See, that'll
like
probably change. I have a feeling that that's going to where you're going to start to feel safer because you have so many abilities, and so instead of feeling like captured, I think that's what's happened to a lot of us. We've gotten so used to being frozen in space and time with certain things to keep control of things that you're going to start to feel safer to be able
I
to,
already do.
yeah, which is because you look so different than the last time I even saw you. It's like, yeah, we're so filling with light and feeling safer. Yeah, it's such a wonderful time.
kind of
That's a
lucky
good
you are to
question.
have a mom who open
understands.
and who understands and like embraces that and
How do your
explores that.
friends accept your gifts?
Oh, I don't tell them about it.
No,
Okay,
no.
that's
I can
understandable.
imagine
Yeah.
that. would be-
How do you support him? My granddaughter, she's 6, and she sees spirits, and she wants to take my daughter, her mom, and she goes, we have to take toys, and she'll go to the cemetery. That's her, and she'll just sit down, she'll play with everybody.
Aww.
And then so she wants to leave, and she's
Aw.
crying because they don't have anybody to play with.
I did that when I was a little girl.
And it's freaking my daughter out. It's like, and she's not
Aw.
taking her back there. And Macy's very mad.
You have to be careful. You have to be
It's
careful.
so I don't know how to
No.
support my daughter, or if it's just their journey, and I let them.
It's part of a
experience
journey, but
their
you're right.
journey.
You have to be careful
You have to be very careful.
in
We went to
graveyards. You have to be
Connorsville?
careful. Oh, Connorsville?
there's a grave.
Oh, yeah, I've been to millions of
There's
them.
There's a graveyard
That has a dollhouse.
that has the dollhouse.
Yeah, since
Oh,
it was
that,
a-
I stopped
I
at the
know,
picture of that.
That's my
I
hometown.
lived behind that. I live from Contra. I live behind
What?
that graveyard.
Huge
What?
dollhouse.
See, where's all these Connorsville things? Oh my God!
Oh,
You lived
we
where?
lived there.
Oh,
We
this is
lived
so
there
crazy.
a couple of years ago for.
Yeah, I was a little girl when I think the little girl died when she was 5.
Well, we went to and we saw the.
So
and
she
I
died
was
a long
talking
time
to
ago.
her.
Yes. Oh
And
yeah,
the-
I've
and
seen
the
her.
dad, the dad was there too, and I was talking to them.
Yep.
Well, they got in the car
Oh, they went home with
and they
you.
came home with
Uh-oh.
me.
See, I'm
no,
lucky.
Get this. That night, my husband and I were getting in bed. I heard her run down the hallway into the room, and it knocked me against the wall. of
Oh
our
my
bedroom.
God.
It knocked me out of bed. I was in bed. She hit me so hard, I fell out of bed and hit the wall under her bedroom.
Wow.
And then she was gone. I haven't seen her since.
Well, you helped, right? And that's so funny because
But she came with us.
being born in Connorsville, and because that all happened in the 1800 or whatever, it's like an old, and it was vandalized, and they had to rebuild it,
Yes.
which is really
It's a dollhouse
bizarre.
of a-
It's a little girl died. She was
It's a
5. It's like a
dollhouse.
family. It's a
Yeah.
Victorian
Yeah.
built. Yeah, and that's her grave is under it. It's in this old graveyard in
And
Connorsville.
the father,
wow.
You can see it from the street.
And you can see all the little things. Yeah, you can drive down. Yeah. So where did you live?
In Connersville.
But what? Where?
All over. I lived over by the high
Why do
school.
I not know?
kinda.
Remember
Then
this?
I lived up on 8th Street.
What?
And then
You're
I lived
kidding.
over on Vermont Avenue by the old high school.
Well, you know, 12th and Central. My mom lived in that big mansion. She bought that big mansion in the late 70s. That now the mayor lives in. It's at right 12th and Central. That big, beautiful old 1904. Yeah. Are you from? Where are you from?
I was born in Muncie, but when I was 2, we moved to Connersville.
Why did I forget that? I love how we. So what? Did you go to high school there?
I went up until my dad was the basketball coach there.
Your dad was a basketball coach. That's
I
right.
moved my sophomore year. We went to Lawrenceburg.
Oh, that's so weird. Because I think my brother. You might have known my brother. 12. What year would you graduate?
I would have graduated in 80.
Okay. That's really interesting. That's really. It's a small. I forgot about that consciously. That's very. Why were you guys there? Why were you guys in Connersville? Just to.
There was an article in the newspaper about this dollhouse, so I wanted to see it.
Oh my God!
Seriously, but she knocked me
What a
out.
coincidence.
And we've been there a couple times with stuff, and yeah, it's no, and see, I was born in '48, so you know, when I was a little girl, you know, all the kids, we would go and we were told the story of it, and you would, you know, see it, and it really looked cool. The original one was the best because it was white, and it was like then it was vandalized, which is really bizarre, and now they painted it like different things. But that's an old cemetery. Well, Connersville, there were 2 Conner brothers, William and John, and when one founded Conner Prairie, one founded Connersville. And they were abducted as children by the Indians and raised with the Indians. They each had wives that were Indians. But they ended up being they traveled up and down Whitewater River. And so Connersville was like a big trading post. It's 60 miles from Indianapolis, 60 miles from Cincinnati. And actually when they decided where they're going to move the capital from, Corydon, which is another connection, where she was born. We had all these talks too. It's so weird. And that's where they used to get huge UFO sightings. Was Corydon and Connersville both huge, always have been. They met in Connersville to decide to pick, because Indianapolis didn't exist then, and they just put it in the middle of the state. So, and that's so weird because we were talking about the healing of the energy here.
Can we tell you something really weird?
Mm-hmm.
Remember we were talking about Sam's friend?
Yes.
That night, at 9:30 at night, I get on my internet, pops up. It was his birthday.
You're kidding.
It was his birthday.
No wonder he's coming through so strong.
So we immediately talked to
Had
him and texted
good.
to him, and it was his birthday.
Oh my God.
We couldn't believe. And then today I learned, and I'm like, oh my goodness. My mom got back to me when my great-grandfather's birthday was. If you reverse his dates, it's his birthday.
Wow. That is really cool.
I know.
That's what I'm saying. There's lots of aha moments for everybody. Look at there's no, it's not even 6 degrees of separation. It's like 3 degrees. It's like 2 degrees. It's like there's no degrees. It's just like this big energy. See, and Tim's been coming here since 1983. We had flotation tanks. This used to be a flotation center. It was a healing center, but we had 2 egg-shaped isolation tanks from 1983 to 1993 for about 10 years, 11 years. And a lot of people from that era, and I used to have a TV show in 87, and Tim and his family used to come and be in the audience, and it's so trippy to sit here this many years later and still be in contact, and how, so much has happened here.
I know. I couldn't believe it when that night. It was his.
That, no wonder. I was just obsessed with talking about him
I
and
know.
about how you could help him, and
I
it was,
know.
yeah. Okay, good. Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes.
Well, I have a question. You talked about this experience with the Lord's Orion.
Yeah, of Orion. Yep.
Orion.
Yep.
And
Yep.
it seems like as we're healing and we're putting pieces back that are fragmented and we're bringing things together, how do you know what is good or bad? Or
That's where you ask for discernment, and I think that's exactly, because I'm sure we can all look back on our lives and think that we thought something was really bad, but it probably wasn't. Or we thought something that was really good, and it was. You know, that confusion of like what's good or bad, or what's right or wrong. Yeah, it's one of the gifts of Holy Spirit is discernment. So you ask for that. I want discernment, and I think we feel truth in our bodies. I think we know. And so like how I've dealt with like that experience I had in the late 70s, and then kind of being whatever, all that stuff that happened, but then seeing how it changed my work. And then I really came to read a lot of things, understand a lot of things, but also go, you know what, you can't, no, I don't, whatever it is, that's not going to be happening, you know. And I think that it's about learning and growing, and and I think the things that are not right are going to be falling away from us. I think it's going to be much harder to be around and doing things that are wrong or not right for us, consciously or unconsciously. I think as we're filling with light, I'm sure you've all noticed that there's certain things maybe you used to do or that people used to be around that you don't want to do anymore. You just don't have an interest. Just kind of like it just falls away. You don't even know why. You don't want to be around that person or doing that activity or belong to this group or, you know, whatever. It's the commonality is not there anymore. As you're changing in frequency, whatever you learned from those experiences, it's done. And it can be very hard sometimes because you think, my God, maybe I'm just, you know, going to end up alone. Why am I moving away from it? It's frequency right now. And it will become more and more like that, where like will attract like, and it won't be the learning through opposition anymore. I think that that's what we're going through, is that I think opposites used to attract and we used to learn through opposition. And I think it's much more right now learning the like-minded are finding like-minded. The body of spirit is becoming visible. Yeah. So it's an exciting time. It's a really neat time. Yeah, I would love to hear. I really feel like tonight, the next few days, I think people are going to have some really interesting experiences from some things we've done here and talked about. And yeah, I think so. And Tim, I don't want to speak for you. Well, Tim, you had an experience too with the light things. Tell your experience.
The last couple of weeks have been crazy for me. The first night that I saw you in my dream, and I called you up, and you said, "Wow, it's all over the place last night," and it was really bizarre. And then all of a sudden, the other night, I'm sitting there, and this huge ball of light come across the room and like nearly struck me, and I leaned way back, and I sleep with a CPAP, and so that I don't quit breathing that night.
Yeah, that's a good idea. There you go.
But it came so close to me that when I sat up in bed, the mask that I wear fell apart.
That's wild.
And if I'd have jumped up and smacked it off my face, I'd have said, "Oh, I broke it." But I'm telling you, I never touched it. I sat up in bed, and it was just taken completely apart. And it was such a vivid thing that there's no way it could have been a dream.
Yeah, worlds are colliding. Yeah. Again, that's what I think is happening. The dimensionality it's just one thing now.
Right.
And because I've been feeling that kind of thing too, with a direct, not just like feeling or seeing things, but it's like direct impact or connecting. Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
It's more like being in spirit. It's not like dreaming. Because I've been doing lucid dreaming for years.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, it's more like different. Being in spirit, being able to control what's going on.
Exactly. That's exactly right. And I think that is what's going on. And I think we're in that time where more and more and more we're going to understand how that we don't have to die at 70 or 80 or 90. That our bodies are made to be in for a lot longer time. It's too hard to come in and out of the body. That's what Spirit told me about 20 years ago. The reincarnational cycle was antiquated, and that we have to be in our, we can redo, we can youth, we don't have to age, we can renovate, we can restore our energies. And I think that that's basically what's happening. So yeah, it's a time we've all been waiting for. So that, and I think that the last of that just real doubtful, heavy, old ways of perceiving and doing things, it's sometimes don't you just feel like you've been slimed or something? You just kind of go, what is this? You feel great, and all this slimy stuff. It's like the last of some lower energies just like on you, and you just have to get it off of you. And again, Tim, I don't want to speak for you, but I'm going to put this out there to anybody. If any of you are interested in doing, I really feel like that we need to do some. We've done a lot of investigations, and we've done a lot of things at certain places. I'd like to do an official investigation here. Everybody's interested, and Tim is very good at teaching the right way to do investigations and to do them in a proper way, and we do them. It's a whole different level.
I'd like to spend a little time with this guy.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Yes.
I'm ready to adopt him into the team.
Yeah, see, there you go.
Just sitting behind you.
That's what's happening. These younger and younger kids are I'm getting so many neat awakened children, and well, they've always been, but that are forthcoming and talking about it, and yeah, so it's a neat time. So if anybody's interested, I think we're going to be doing some stuff and new adventures, new things to come here. So
yeah, my sister can be outside of any house, and she can tell you what room they're in. She doesn't even have to go in the house.
That's cool.
She can just look at it, and she's
Right.
got a friend of hers that can do the same thing. And but she can, like Sam, she can see right, and she can tell
Right.
everything about him.
yeah, that's neat.
Yeah,
Yep.
we get that a lot. We'll go on an investigation, and we'll go down and sit in the front room, and they'll go, well, do you need to go down in the basement, or
Oh.
do you need to go upstairs?
Nah.
No, they're all standing right here,
Yeah.
right now. They're ready to tell us what they want, and
Oh, yeah.
they're ready to move on, and we'll get them out of here. And
Yeah.
so,
Yeah, and you can learn to do a lot of remote viewing, and it's all, because again, it's not, time and space are not like what we think. Because people say, well, how do you do readings for people that you never met, or people in other countries, or people? It's because it's not like that. It's just we have the illusion that it's separate or something is so far away, and it's just all one energy. So
stop living as a person, start living
living
as
as a spirit. There you go. It's a really
Yeah.
good. That's a good one
Exactly.
because it's true.
What manifestations are occurring so instantly, some for me, like a thought, boom, there it happens.
Oh.
A thought, boom, there it happens. Good or bad, or
Yes.
indifferent.
Yeah. It's that instant karma thing, but it's also, this has been going on for me for really a couple of years, but it's gotten so defined that it's like, I think, oh my God, this is really freaky. I'll be literally thinking something, saying something, processing something, and I will walk into a room and it's on TV. And
Yeah.
it's like I'll have just said something on the phone and somebody's saying it on the TV, and I'm like, whoa. Or it even happens out in public. I'll be out and it all around me, it will just be manifesting the same subject, the same, yeah.
Are you thinking about a person, they're calling the
Yes.
phone, or, oh, I'm looking forward to a new client, a new job opportunity. Well, you get a phone call, you know.
Right.
I just noticed that.
That separation's gone. It's just
Yeah.
that immediate, shows the verification of how connected you are, that you're getting information. I mean, it's really a neat thing. And the more I think the more that we're going to, it's just going to become, it's second nature. It's just going to be not a thinking of, so I'm saying, and again, I've just never been a ritualistic person. I can remember my birth and where I was before and different things I did at a very early age. And I'm very aware of just kind of trying to be in the path, and that's kind of my message, is it's about actualizing your life and actualizing unconditional love and truth. And I think that, again, many rituals are interesting. I think they have their place for certain people, certain things, certain times. I think we're going into a time about growing ritualistic things because in a way, they're archaic. They're about reminders of things. I think we're living the ritual. I think we're living the life. We're living our path. And so I think that a lot of, what we're seeing today, they picked the new pope, right, and the whole thing. And I'm not making fun of it, but it's like it's all that's falling away. And it's been falling away for a long time, but it's really going to fall away because of the denial of the divine feminine and the denial of everything that goes along with those things. I think we're seeing the last of certain institutions it's all changing. People realize they have a direct connection. That it's not about somebody else doing it for you. Yeah. That religion has a purpose, and all religions have truth in them, but spirituality and religion are way different. And so God speaks to everybody in everybody's heart, and so we're in that time of that. So, well, thank you all for coming. This is, as always, wonderful.
Thank you.
Yes, loved it. Yeah, very nice energy tonight. Thank you. Okay.
Stop recording.
Stop. Okay.
Recording.
Stop broadcast.